Hi and welcome back to another video feature of the Immersive Worlds Handbook. Today I'm focusing on theming foundations in a rather unlikely place. I'm in Los Angeles taking video here at the LA Farmers Market, and specifically I came across this interesting sticker store. And at first I saw it as simply a store with a lot of stickers. Over time though, I discovered this particular section near the back of the store where all these various cultures and places are profiled, and thus I wanted to focus on this idea of what exactly do we associate with a particular place or culture. And I think very often we take theming for granted in that we don't think necessarily about how something becomes so thematic that it becomes etched in our consciousness. So I asked some questions here. Well, are there specific material cues or material forms that are so powerful that they become part of that association with the thematic approach? Architecture, design, material culture, of course, certain places connote certain forms, as do flora and fauna. So you'll see here, if we look at, I believe it's California and San Diego, you might see the killer whale, the connection to, of course, the very famous SeaWorld. We also have time associations in terms of thinking about the past and the future. And interestingly enough, we have places. So Hollywood obviously is very iconic for California. And we can also think about various folkways. This refers to the food, dance, any kind of performance, and various other forms that are associated with particular places. So perhaps for a Mexico sticker, it is the mariachi band or something of that nature. Now, as we continue to look at some additional examples here, we would just ask very simply, what is it about certain symbols, about certain forms, that make them so powerful for us? Is it the mere repetition of them over time? Or is there something else? Is there something more, perhaps in a Carl Jungian sense, archetypal about how they resonate with our consciousness? And you might be thinking, this is an unlikely place to think about theming, but I think it's exactly the type of place that we need to visit. And of course, there is the question of stereotypes. What if we become tired with the associations of Mexico with mariachi bands? Is that a form of cultural essentialism? Perhaps creating associations that we don't like, simplifying our understandings of a culture, of a place, of a people. And the question of essentialism, of course, refers to this. We distill the very multitudes, the incredible heterogeneity that is common in any place, in any culture, in any nation, and we distill those to a few essences or forms, and thus the thematic appropriation is undertaken, it resonates with us, and it's repeated throughout the world in all the various forms. So when I looked at these stickers here at the store at the LA Farmers Market, I certainly wasn't surprised by anything that I saw. In fact, when I saw certain things, those immediately resonated with me. But then that gave me some pause, and indeed I said to myself, perhaps this is one aspect of theming we shouldn't identify with, we should be critical of, because it's not allowing for more divergent expressions of the cultures, of the people, of the places. And so I think it's something for us to think about philosophically, existentially, in terms of issues of intercultural communication in the future. Are these sorts of representations of people, place, and culture the kinds of representations that will get us in terms of where we want to go with forms of intercultural communication, understandings between culture, and so forth? The other side of it, of course, is if we're selling a product, and if we're trying to create a theme park or any kind of themed space, we may have to rely on some of these because unfortunately, so many of us living in consumer societies around the world find ourselves being able to understand only these symbols and these material forms, and we might be surprised to see something divergent or avant-garde or strange or out of the ordinary. So it allows us multiple opportunities, I believe, to ruminate and to consider on these various issues of theming and the foundations of theming. So please come back for additional video features of the Immersive Worlds Handbook.